Well, good morning and welcome to Move Early, Move Often. What am I welcoming you to? So welcome to Move Early, Move Often. It's vacation time. I'm a little confused. I kind of don't even really know where I am. My co-host, Thomas Karakolis, who normally keeps it real and brings us the technicals, is not available today because he is on vacation. Good fella, good fella. Good for you for doing that. My name is Blake Martin, and today I'm your host. I'm leading you through what we call Wobbly Wednesday. It is a day where we focus on balance and core strength, things like that. Um, it's 2 days before New Year's, and I thought it would be interesting for you to experience parts of the field sobriety test that is sometimes done when people are stopped for suspected substance abuse. So, alcohol affects a neurotransmitter chemical in your brain called GABA, which inhibits the functioning of some neurons, and it slows those brain cells down just enough that you lose coordination. It also affects the viscosity, the thickness of the fluid in your inner ear, and that's another way that it affects balance. So, testing people's balance is a great way to figure out if they've been drinking. Now, you can't you can't just become a better balancer and suddenly become a really good at beating the field sobriety test. It's not going to work. So even if you practice this stuff a whole bunch, the chemicals would still change in your brain, and you'd still have the problems. And which is to say, don't drink and drive. But let's try out some of these activities right now, and you can see how it all comes together. So best to have bare feet when we're doing balancing kinds of things. It's a great way to start. It gives you lots of contact with the ground. That's not an option that you typically have when you're doing a field sobriety test. You can't just say to the officer, I'm going to take off my shoes now. It's not going to work. So what I want to do first, though, just for our own sake and again, for our own health, is we're just going to spend a little time warming up our ankles, just because our ankles are really involved. I'm trying to start my timer, and I got to get an integrated timer. Anyways, so we're just going to stand on one foot, and this is already a little bit of a balance test. We're going to do 8 circles in one direction, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you need to hold on to something, because there's lots of reasons why balance might be affected, and officers will always ask you this: 7, 8. Now let's do the opposite ankle. 1, 2. So there are lots of things that can affect balance. So sometimes we need to hold on to something, and we'll go in the opposite direction, so that we can, just warming up our ankles a bit. I'm just going to go back. This is called dorsiflexion, and then I'm going to go down. It's called plantar flexion, and we're just going to do that a couple of times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're just getting those muscles in and around our ankles nice and warm. Dorsiflex, plantar flex, that's 1, 2. It's really important for balance to have these muscles be extra strong. I'm trying to count while I'm doing this. That's not easy for me. 7 and 8. Okay. Just kind of wiggle your hips from side to side. All right. First thing we're going to do, the first part of the field sobriety test, is you stand still. You lift your one foot about 6 to 8 inches off the ground, so it's almost a 45-degree angle, and you dorsiflex it. You pull the toes back towards you, and you look at the foot, and you do that for 30 seconds. So here we go. On one foot, lift it off the ground, 6 to 8 inches, dorsiflex it, and look at it. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Now, you're probably saying, hey, this is pretty easy. I got this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kick it up a notch after we've done the second foot. Just looking. I don't know where I started. I thought I started at 0. Oh, there we go. All right. And opposite foot. Look at that foot, dorsiflex it. And you may find it more difficult to do on one foot than the other. Try to be tall in your body. But as we're looking at our foot, we don't have all of the reference points that we normally have. So one of the things that we use when we're balancing is we use the environment to help us with visually to know whether or not we've got it. All right, so that was 30 seconds on that foot. Let's kick it up a notch. We're going to try and do it balanced. We're going to try and raise up on our other foot at the same time. Now, you're going to keep looking at that foot and dorsiflexing and try to lift your heel off the ground. See how long, whoa, you can get up there. So this is harder than what they would ever ask you to do in a field sobriety test. All right, and opposite foot. And trying to lift off the ground, get your heel up. So we are taking it up to the next level, challenging our balance. Whoa. Nine seconds left. See how much further you can get along. Whoa, that was a good one, Blake. And then I lost it. Totally gone. All right. Okay. All right. Next part of the field sobriety test is a toe heel walk. And what you have to do is you have to walk. Typically, they have a line on the ground. They'll ask you to walk on a parking line. And we're going to walk from heel to toe. We get down to the end of our yoga mat. And then we're going to leave our toe right on the ground. And we're going to shuffle around in a circle. Just leaving that one foot on the ground and walk back. Okay, so let's do that together. We'll do the toe heel walking. And then we're going to make it challenging again for us. This isn't really in this field sobriety test. We're going to do it eyes closed. All right. So normally it's 10 steps and you have to count them out loud. You can do that if you want. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm running out of mat. 7. I'm too close to the camera. 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to shuffle around, pivoting like a basketball star that I am, so tall, and going back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and pivot around. All right. Okay, so here's how we're going to make it harder. We're going to walk forward, and I'm just going to walk to the end of my yoga mat. And the reason I'm only walking that far is because I'm going to have my eyes closed. I'm going to use the yoga mat to cue me. And when I get to the end of my mat here, I'm going to then do the same walk backwards with my eyes closed. All right? Again, challenging our balance a little bit further is a little more challenging. All right? So down and back, eyes closed. And if you need to, if you feel like you're losing your balance, then open your eyes. All right, so here we go. Field sobriety test, next level. Ooh, I'm wobbly. We'll see how straight I went too. I'm off the end of my mat. And going backwards. All right. That was kind of wiggly all over the place there. And we're going to level it up again. All right. So we went forward and back. What we're going to do is we're going to do dip steps. So what I'll do is I'll start behind. I'm going to dip down on my standing leg. Dip down on my standing leg. I'm going to dip step forward. And I'm going to dip step back. All right. So here we go. Field sobriety test, level 3. And with your eyes closed, dip step. Now, I find this very challenging personally. You might find it really easy. If you do, you're superhuman. and I admire you, and I respect you. I peaked because I was going to fall. No shame. No shame in peaking. Not even shame in falling. Stepped off my mat. Stepped off my mat again. And going backwards. Dip stepping. So you're... Now, part of the reason why this is so challenging, the dip stepping, is because as soon as you flex your knee and then straighten it again, you're changing your balancing strategies. We're going from kind of normal anterior posterior balancing strategy and side to side. All right, kind of backwards. All right, so you can try that again if you're feeling really energetic. But that kind of brings us to the end of our field sobriety test. What I want you to do now, just again, let's come to the center of our mat, rock from side to side, pick a distant point on the horizon and focus upon it. Could be, I'm looking at a feature in our pantry door, and it's just this kind of little corner, and I'm just looking at it. I'm just going to move back and forth. Our eyes are such an important part of our balance apparatus. Some people who are visually impaired, they will have trouble with that, or sometimes if there's damage to the vestibular system, the coordination between the eye and the vestibular system is off. Now let's rock forward and back. And again, I'm focusing on something in the distance. This is helping me, my balance. Let your pelvis go. Just let it hang down. Let it relax. Let your chin come down. Just be neutral. Feel that your ears are growing away from your shoulders. Feel nice and tall. Inhale. Just feel like you could rise up just slightly off your heels onto your toes. Come back down. Let's do that again. I want you to sense how grounded you feel, how solid. You're not going up high. Just feel grounded. Have a sense of your feet connecting with the earth. Have a sense of being tall and rooted and having great balance. And balance is a process. We lose it, we regain it, we lose it, we regain it again. And that's how balance works. It's not constant. It's not, you don't have it forever. It's this ongoing, changing thing. Well, that's not going to help you if you decide to do something foolish like drink and drive. But it might help you with your regular balance in your regular life. And you've already moved early. I hope you remember to move often. And I hope you have a really, really great weekend. And we'll talk to you soon.